Hi guys, welcome back to this channel. I'm Ella and in this video we are going to set this beautiful table. I was working on a dining room and I needed to set a table for render. And I thought, however, it's very simple. I can share this with you. As I say, for all of other families, you can model this one time and use it in all of your projects. Probably you can set a table like this with 8 or 10 dishes. And of course you can do more. So let's start with number 1. Go to File and create a new family on Generic Model. First, set your unit, press UN and go to Length part. Change it to meters and put rounding on 2 decimal places. Go to Left View and select Revolve. In here, we are going to model a dinner plate or service plate, which is the largest plate in a table, and it's something around 25 to 30 centimeter on its diameter, So I'm going to draw a line in here like 30 centimeter and I'm going to move it to center like here. I also wanted to have like these kind of edges. These kind of plates are trends these days, so I'm going to use something like this. In here I'm going to use peak line to offset this line for like 3 millimeter to this part, and for attaching this part to here I'm going to use this partial ellipse because it gives like some kind of, you see these curves here. I think it looks good. Now I'm going to use fillet for this part, and also I will add some kind of edges to here, something like this. And I'm going to trim these parts with these lines. I will also add fillets to this part and also this part. I'm going to create a line in this part and I will trim it with these 2 lines. Now I'm going to draw its axis to here and I will move all of these lines to this point, to this line here. Now if I hit finish and go to 3D view, you can see that our plate is ready. Now, it was very simple, right? But let's also make it a bit interesting. I'm going to create another part exactly like this inside of this plate, so I can add another material to it. So go to create and select revolve again. Create another line exactly on here and very a small offset like 2 or even 1 millimeter is enough. I'm going to move it to this part and I will use partial ellipse to create something very simple in this part. Now with this bullet element, I'm going to cut this in here and I will add another line from this point to here. Delete this part and trim these 2 parts together. And now fillet this part. Draw a line in here and also trim these 2 parts together. Don't forget to fillet it. Actually, because we're not going to use like a schedule or something like this, you don't need to like have a very clean and on-edge models. So this is enough. Draw your axis and hit finish. Before we look at it again, I'm going to use another revolve for creating a small edge in here. You see plates with like golden edge on their top. I'm going to create this part for only that purpose. I'm going to create a very small shape like a moon in this part, and I will use this partial ellipse again, and I'm going to close it with this circle. If you want it to be fit more, just use a scale to make it smaller like this and move it around to find the best place for it, probably something like this, and hit finish. Let's go to 3D view. This is our plate and the only thing we need to do in here is to select different parts and assign material to them. So I'm going to name this part like bottom and this inner part should be top. Select this edge tool and create a parameter for it, which we are going to call edge. We also need a smaller size of this plate, which is going to be like salad plate or dessert plate. But now you know how you can make a smaller one. So let's move on to the second part. Create another family on generic model. Set your unit first and go to the left view. In here, we are going to create a bubble, and it's going to be exactly like creating plate but with different shapes. I told you that dinner plate is like 30 centimeter. The salad plate or the smaller plate should be like 20 or 18 centimeter, and this bubble should be something around 12 or like even a smaller size. So let's go to revolve and create another line in here, like probably 16 centimeter, and I'm going to move it to this center. If it's 14 or 12 centimeter, we probably need something like 6 or 8 centimeter for its height. So I'm going to move this down, and like plates, I'm going to start from this point, and I'm going to draw something like this. Now I'm going to use this ellipse tool, and I'm going to create something like this. I will move this to here, and now offset it toward inside for like 3 or 2 millimeter. Draw a line from this point and trim them together. Fillet this point and also draw another line in here. Let's delete this line and draw our X. Now you can hit finish. It's something like this. Now I'm going to model its inner side. Draw your axis again and hit finish. The last part is its edge. So select the revolve again and use this partial ellipse to create some very small shape in this part. Select circle and draw something like this in here. Now if you need, make it a smaller or make it bigger with a scale and move it to a suitable point. Draw its axis and hit finish. Now the only thing is left is to assigning parameters for different parts, and you know how to do that. So let's move to third part. Create a new family on generic model and go to left view. In this part, we are going to model a fork, so I'm going to use extrusion. A dinner fork is something between 20 and like 25. I also see like 30 centimeter fork, so I'm going to draw something between them. Let's go with 25. I'm going to draw a line like 25 centimeter, and I will go with something like this. I don't have any special number for these parts, just draw something like fork and delete this line. Create fillets in this part and also in here. Now use pick line and offset like 2 or 3 millimeter and click on these lines. If you want, you can make some places thicker like this, but keep the overall shape. Move these two edges closer to each other like this, and I'm going to use this partial ellipse again to close this part and also this part. Now hit finish and go to ref level. Let's put it on center and go to create and use a void extrusion. In here we are going to draw a shape like a fork. If you hit finish now, this part will be deleted from this form. And if you want to make the opposite of this, you need to create a rectangle around this shape. Now hit finish and go to 3D view. In here with cut, first click on this form and then select your void. Assign material to it, save it, and create another family on generic model. We are going to work on a spoon and we're going to work it on exactly this ref level here. Click on revolve and draw your axis line exactly here. Now for a spoon, which its size is going to be something like fork 25-20 centimeter, I'm going to create a line in here, and then I'm going to use this partial ellipse to create a half of a spoon in this side. Then I'm going to draw a line from this point to here, and then I'm going to cut this ellipse from this part and create a line between these two parts. Now I'm going to use this fillet for this part. For closing it, I'm going to draw some lines in this part and I'm going to continue it to this point. Now if you hit finish and go to left view, you can delete this part with a very simple extrusion like this. Go to 3D view and move it to this part. If you want this part to be empty, you need to go to front view and create another void but on revolve, and you are going to like draw its axis line exactly in here and create a very simple shape like this, and draw another one from this point to here, cut it from this part and trim these two parts. Close this line and now hit finish. Use cut to delete this void from your shape, and this is what we have. Now you know how to model it, and the only thing left in this part is to like play with number and shapes until you find the best shape and form for your spoon. Okay, save it and let's move on to part 5. Create a new family on again generic model. And here we are going to create a knife. For this we need to go to left view and in here go to create and open a new extrusion. Select line and create a very simple triangle like this. Now go to ref level and move it to this part. In here we are going to use this void form extrusion to create a knife exactly like we did for that fork. So first draw a 25 centimeter line and then create a very simple line like these in here. Now use fillet for these parts. Now draw another rectangle around your shape and hit finish. Go to 3D view and move this void down like this, and also move this part to inside this void. Perfect. Save this one too and let's move on to part 6. Create a new family in generic model. In this part we are going to model a water glass, so go to left view and click on revolve. Draw your axis on this line. I think its height should be something between 12 to 15 centimeters. So draw a line in this part and move it up to like here. Now draw a line from this part to here and then to this part, and just continue it to create a shape that you like. Now click on pick line and with offset of like 2 to 3 millimeter, create another lines in here. And then use this circle for this one. delete this line, and now you can hit finish. Go to 3D view and put it on shaded. Select it and create a new material for it. Let's call it glass. And let's move on to the next part. Create a new family again on generic model. For this part, we are going to create a wine glass. Go to left view and use revolve for modeling it. So create a line in like 25 centimeter of this reference plan, something like here. And now we are going to set our axis line in this part. And then we are going to draw a wine glass. Now I'm going to use this circle to close this part too, and then I'm going to delete this line. Fillet these two parts and also this part. And now you can hit finish. For next part, I wanted to show you how you can model like candle holders and some beautiful vases, but I realized that you basically use this revolve for all of them, and if you can create something like this wine glass, you can create them too. So if you want them, you can just model them yourself. Now that we have everything ready, let's create the last generic model. First of all, I'm going to import my dinner plate. So go to its family and load it into your project. And I'm going to put it in center. Now I'm going to import my salad plate and I'm going to put it exactly in its center. And after that, I'm going to import my bowl, soup bowl. And again, I'm going to put it in center. Let's go to left view and move them to the right place. I also forgot to create a placement fabric, so I'm going to just create one real quick with extrusion in this part. I'm going to set it in its center here and also for this part. And I'm going to set it in its center, something like this. Perfect. I think 3 or 2 millimeter is enough for that. So this part, let's also move these up like this. Perfect. Now next thing I need to import is this. So load it and put it in here. Rotate it and put it in here. Let's load a spoon and knife too, and then we are going to check their placement. Go to left view and move all of them above this fabric. Now it's time for water glass and wine glass. I'm going to put it in here and I will load this wine glass and I'm going to put it exactly in this part. However, you can use all of these parts separately. This family is going to be our final family, and when we want to use this set, we can load only this family. For this, we need to import all of those materials to this one, and we need to assign them again. How you can do this? You just need to select your object, and if you go to its edit type, you need to click on this part and create a new parameter for this bottom and another one for this edge and also for this top part. Now that you did this, if you go to this family tab, you will have all of them here. And also if you click on this part, which is a salad plate, and go to its edit type, you can just simply click on this part and select this bottom for it. So if you change one of those materials, all of these materials on your dishes will change. You need to repeat all of these parts for each part. If you go to this family type, you can change all of these materials and use them the way you want. So this is our set, and however we can do lots of things about this. We can use two different spoons in here, another fork. We can add like a sauce plate to this part, and also a cup of tea if this is a set for breakfast. And I want to show you that I had created this vase for flowers, and also these candle holders and this candle for adding to my table. I like this set a lot, and I think with adding material and like different texture to these parts, we can make it much better. Don't forget to leave me a comment if you think I can make it better with a special technique that you know and I didn't use. I hope this was useful for you and you enjoyed watching it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next tutorial.